Alex McCord, and welcome to The Real Deal on thestir.com. This week we have got the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Beverly Hills and the premiere of New York City. Whoa! Plus your questions. First, let's hit up Atlanta. Two things stood out to me. Marlo versus Kenya and Porsche versus Cordell via all those husbands. Now, anyone who has ever been on reality television ever knows that when new people come on board, the existing cast members act like kingmakers. Everyone goes to the new kid on the show and either 1, makes friends, 2, makes enemies, or 3, threatens them. Imagine a conversation where the queen bee says, "I will make you or break you. Are you going to back me or not?" Clearly, Marlo making friends with Kenya Moore did not make Nene Leakes happy. Uh-oh. And Nene is choosing to act out in a crazy way. And the producers love it because it's storyline. It's throwing water. It's throwing shade. It's throwing everything. Frankly, if Marlo is thinking strategically, she should love it too because she is getting a storyline and more camera time out of Nene hating her. And now, Peter Thomas as Oprah. What? Peter sat down with Cordell Stewart, Portia's soon-to-be ex-husband, and let Cordell have his say. I would imagine that producers dreamed this up in order to give Portia a little poke, a little more storyline, which she desperately needs. Cordell would have been reassured that he'd get to have his say with someone who's a non-threatening enabler, in this case Peter. So Cordell had his chance. He slung a little mud, talked about how Portia clung to her family too much, had bad credit, lost all her money, was disrespectful, etc., etc. Then, fast forwarding to Mexico, it all came out to a captive audience. Now, there is no way in a normal world that a husband would just pop off with an announcement like Peter's to Portia without it being planned well in advance. This is so interesting to me. Now, viewers, you might think that the husbands are ganging up on Portia, but I don't see it that way. I'll tell you why. By Peter talking to Cordell, and then the husbands talking at dinner in Mexico, they lobbed Portia a softball. They gave her a storyline bump that she could play any way she wanted to. And guess what? Portia took that golden gift and struck out badly. This was her chance to shine, smack down the rumors, throw a little shade at Cordell if she wanted to, and come out swinging and fabulous. Instead, Portia got flustered. She made it seem like their marriage was a business arrangement and PR spin, and she opened the door to Kenya Moore hijacking her story. Greg tried to pull it back and help Portia get back on track, but she was too far gone. Kenya saw her opportunity and seized control of the scene. The episode ends with Portia babbling about people not letting her speak, and Kenya controlling the story by calling Portia a spin doctor, covering up her husband's tainted reputation as a beard. And by the way, on reality TV, don't waste your breath saying, "Let me speak, let me speak, let me speak." Everyone has a microphone on. Just speak. They can turn the other person down. Now, let's head west to Beverly Hills, where we saw the finale episode, or rather, we saw 45 minutes of finale and 15 minutes of everyone arriving in their cars to film the reunion. Yikes, it was that bad. And guess what? The Beverly Hills finale rated the worst in its history. Not even 2 million. Vanderpump Rules beat out Beverly Hills in key demographics. And, you know, spin-offs are not supposed to beat the show they came from. It's wonderful news for Vanderpump Rules, but terrible for Beverly Hills. Well, this season's storyline broke down to Lisa Vanderpump versus everyone. Viewer Janine Aiken asked me why. Why would producers go after their most beloved cast member? Why would they take her down, or try to? Well, Janine, it could be a few things. First, this season was pretty snoozy, pretty boring. I mean, maybe it's the only storyline that had any legs. There's an old saying, go where the fish are, and I think that's what producers did. Also, there's an added bonus that they show every housewife around the world that they are not afraid to attack their own queen bee. Here's what I see. In the last couple of years, Lisa's work life exploded. She and Ken had opened another restaurant, she wrote a book, they are doing a gay bar, they have a very successful spin-off series in its 2nd season, and she did Dancing with the Stars, and that's just the stuff I know about. In other words, Lisa got busy, and when you get busy, you tighten it, you bring it in, you cut lots of things out of your life, including people who annoy you. Remember what I've said before, in the off-season, you don't tend to see the cast unless you go out of your way to. I think the cast was a little disgruntled that Lisa no longer had time for them, and they went after her. Lisa doesn't make it easy on herself. She left herself vulnerable. To avoid all this, she could have set herself Google reminders to reach out to people in the off-season, but when they annoy the hell out of you, you kind of don't want to. Lisa resented having to spend time maintaining relationships with her coworkers, and it showed, particularly when you heard her say, "Let's not do this, I don't want to do this, do we have to do this?" over and over again. I see exactly how it happened. Because of all the ladies being disgruntled, Lisa's once cheeky and cute comments started to grate, and all the cast got offended. Now, the producers smelled all this happening, stuck their meddling oars in to raise the stakes a little, and presto, we've got a season storyline. Now, it's never okay for anyone to call anyone else stupid, Ken, but I must say I was scratching my head over Yolanda and Kyle pleading with Lisa over and over again. Are we real friends? Are we real friends? Are fake friends? Are we Hollywood friends? Or are we girlfriends? No, you are not friends. You are co-workers. But it happens to the best of us. It actually happened to me, season 1 in New York. I was working 60 hours a week. I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. We were renovating the house, and I was barely aware that I was even on a reality show. I was so busy, and I immediately disliked half the cast, so I avoided them. I just filmed with Simon, and that turned into me being the outsider. Now, if I had known then what I know now, perhaps I would have made a little bit more of an effort. This season, Lisa fell into the same trap. Busy, running around. She didn't want to engage in anything that felt petty. But if you don't, they will all call you fake and they will shank you in the back. And that's what happened. And Brandi Glanville. Well, Brandi wants a divorce from Lisa. Or rather, she wants to be Lisa. Which one do you think it is? I have my suspicions. Maybe we'll find out at the 3-part reunion, which Yolanda says we should stick around to watch because it's better than the season. So what do you think? You gonna tune in? Now, how about them apples? New York is back. What did you think of it? It's been a 2-year break, and that's the longest any Housewives franchise has been off TV. Pam Dryberg asked me when this was filmed. Well, they wrapped filming mid-September, so the very last thing they filmed is already 6 months old. No Luann in the first episode, that's not surprising. And straight out of the gate, we see that nobody wants to be around Aviva, so she is playing defense. Sonia says she gave Aviva the Ramona manual, but she stomped on it. Ramona says Aviva is a black cloud of smoke that wafts through the room. Ooh, spooky. Carol can't believe Aviva is asking for favors after not seeing her for 8 months. Remember what I said about not seeing people in the off-season? So, is Aviva going to explode? Is she a dirty bomb? What exactly will it take for her to win the ladies over? Flattery? Doing shots with Ramona? Taking off her prosthetic leg and flinging it at someone? I do have to say that when Aviva gets flustered, she tends to spout random things, a little bit like Kelly Ben-Simone on Scary Island. When she told Ramona that she was losing her virginity to her, I almost wondered if she was going to do it with satchels of gold. Personally, I think what Aviva needs to do is enlist Robin the Swami. All right, I think that New Yorkers watching the show who know all these people in real life have to be dying over Robin. She was my favorite part of the episode. Okay, Robin is a gal about town, former dancer, actress, and yoga teacher, divorced from a finance guy. Now she's a Swami priest. I mean, she has been for a couple of years, but normally when you see her out at cocktail parties, she's wearing a dress and a cowboy hat and drinking champagne, not chanting. Om Shanti OMG. But let's discuss newbie Kristen. Remember what I said about people circling around the new girl? It happened here too. Kristen is beautiful and she has babies. I also noticed that she says she has a nanny because she works, but her husband immediately threw her under the bus asking, "Did you get a job?" Well, she's billed herself as dumb but pretty. So far, truth in advertising. Overall, my thoughts about New York are this. Of the ladies that I know well, it seems like everybody is trying, with a capital T, to make good television. Everyone seems a few shades over the top to me. That's not a bad thing. I don't mind that. Personally, I enjoyed episode 1 a lot more than the season super tease. In that preview, it seemed like everything was 100% yelling and dark and bloody. I don't know about that. I hope there's less yelling and more fun, and please, more Robin chanting. Finally, a couple of viewer questions. Ellen RJA asked me on Twitter, Alex, what's your view of housewives that blame editing when their bad behavior results in negative backlash? Well, Ellen, everyone has moments that are edited to death. When you watch finished episodes of reality TV, sometimes you'll see a scene that was genuine and real. Sometimes it's taken out of context, so it doesn't mean what you think it means or what it originally meant. And sometimes bits and pieces get spliced together to create something that never happened. Where the editing blame game gets dicey is this. Many are quick to call bad editing when things are skewed to make you look bad. I've done it myself. But very few housewives are willing to admit when things are edited to make them look good. A lot of girls get a lot of help that they don't want to admit. The housewives who cry editing the least and say, oh, it's all real, well, they're the ones that typically look the best. Last question. Did I hear about the Kardashians filming in fake houses? Yes, I did, and it's not that weird. Because reality TV has become so popular, lots of people use outdoor shots of other houses or apartment buildings so that viewers won't be able to easily figure out where they live. Whether it is a sweeping California driveway or the front of a New York City townhouse, it's become normal to film someone else's address so that you don't have viewers ringing the doorbell. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Which city was your favorite this week? For now, I am Alex McCord. You are watching The Real Deal on thestir.com. See you next time.